And joining us this morning via Zoom is Michael E.D. Bing. He's an author, a national scholar, graduate of Peace and Conflict Studies, and he's currently a postgraduate student at the University of the West Indies. And also joining us this morning is the president of UE Economic Society, Rukaya Scott. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Thank you so much for having me here.
All right, so let's start with you, Rukaya Scott. Can you tell me what do you expect or hope for with regards to the budget presentation coming this Monday?
Hi, good morning, everyone. It's really good to be here this morning to talk about the budget, especially, from a youth perspective and as a budding economist myself. But I think what I can expect from this year's budget would be what I would like to see to move the country forward, an investment into a more progressive education system, into more healthcare policy, increased in our research and development and national security, and basically just stuff to diversify the economy. However, I'm not too sure if that is what I'm going to see, considering the crisis that we are in currently with the global health pandemic. So I'm very much expecting to see a spike in taxes and so forth. So I'm actually looking forward to the budget to see actually what's gonna play out.
All right, fantastic. Michael, can you tell me, as a student, currently a postgrad student at the University of the West Indies, what do you hope the budget will provide to students like yourself?
Well, the expectations and the hopes are two completely different things. The fact of the matter, I think the government will try as best as possible to maintain the social safety nets which exists at the bare minimum, if not expand it and direct it to those who are most in need and most vulnerable. And I think as the Prime Minister has made mention of, the attempt will be to save as many jobs as possible and to keep people employed and engaged in economic activity as possible, given the current state of the economy. So I think that's really what we're going to be seeing. It's not a case of changing or reinventing the wheel. I think the Prime Minister would it may be unfortunately or fortunately for some of us a status quo sort of budget. It won't be anything a diversion from the norm, but I think at the bare minimum the social safety nets would be maintained, and we'll try to grapple with this pandemic as we go forward. That's what I believe would be coming in the near future in the budget presentation.
Now, for the manifesto leading up to this election, and the PNM had put in their manifesto that they want to digitize things, that they want to diversify the economy. Now, Rukaya, as a budding economist, like you said before, what are some of the suggestions you would like to see the government put in place to diversify the economy?
Okay, so one thing that I think that needs to be clarified is that the way that we have been allegedly been diversifying the economy thus far has actually been in the incorrect way. Purchasing a private company is not diversifying the economy. Moving away from oil to one other industry is not diversifying the economy. Diversifying the economy is creating multiple revenue streams from various industries. So we don't need to see a shift from oil to agriculture or a shift from oil to digital transformation. We need to see a combination of all of these things. I actually think a really good suggestion to diversify the economy is to create some sort of diversification fund or investment fund, but we should do it in such a way where the average man or woman, average citizen of Trinidad and Tobago can contribute, because what we can end up in problems if we create an investment fund and we only allow a certain income bracket to be able to invest in it by saying that you need to invest a certain amount of money, because the average household in Trinidad and Tobago does not earn that much. So I definitely think that is one great way, that is one step in the right direction for us to be able to diversify the economy. And my suggestions would be to really focus in on the emerging industries, and the emerging industries obviously is the food processing industry, of course, is always going to be there. And also into digital transformation, but not just digital transformation to revive the public sector, but a way that you can actually make a revenue from it. So that would require more private sector collaboration as well.
Fantastic. Michael, as a graduate of Peace and Conflict Studies, the world is in a place where, I don't know, there's lots of conflict and we need a lot more peace, to say it plainly. Here in Trinidad and Tobago, of course, is no different. How can we put things in place using the budget, the upcoming budget, to sort of quell things or to sort of make forge a way forward using peace. And well, I guess you can use your peace and conflict studies to get some suggestions out there.
Yeah, well, the government, I think, is on the right track, certainly in as it pertains to saying the right things. Looking out for the least of these, or brothers and sisters, to use the Bible text, is a step in the right direction, and it is the best thing to do going forward. Certainly, I heard what Raquel Miss Scott was saying about diversification into the economy. I think that's more in the long term. In the short term, mid term, I think people who occupy the upper echelons of society have to do more. They have to invest more in the society that has made them wealthy. The fact of the matter is, in my humble opinion, I believe the banks get away with murder in Trinidad and Tobago. They essentially make enormous profits, almost obscene profits, and really pay. I believe they should pay more in taxes. Currently, it's 35%, but they should pay more in taxes and engage in what could be described as fee gouging and so many other tactics to improve their bottom line. But going forward, I think the government is on the right track. I think we have certainly we say the right things, and I think we're on the right track.
Michael, before I let you go, tell me, why do you think youth in general should be paying attention to the budget on Monday?
Well, it affects our lives. The budget would affect our lives going forward. It's important for us to recognize this and continue to play, to be engaged in society, to participate in society, and to make our own contributions on the individual level. So the youth have a role to play, and this we shouldn't neglect it in any way, and we should participate as much as possible.
And Rukaya, how do you feel about the youth paying attention to the budget come Monday? Why is it important?
I share the same sentiments as Mikhail. The fact is that we are going to inherit the future. And as such, we should, have a seat at the table. We should be able to contribute. We should be able to at least look at the budget and understand for ourselves, how is this going to impact me in the future? So I definitely think that young people should pay attention to the budget. I understand it may not be everybody's, cup of tea, but I think there are many young people who are in the field, like Mikhail, like myself, who's very much interested in the budget. And I know we will do our responsibilities in our various circles to, let each other know what's been going on in the budget and how can this impact me. So I definitely think it's something that we should all look forward to. And I'm very hopeful, actually, that in years to come, not this immediate budget, because a budget is just, it's not for a long period of time. Our budget is going to be for the upcoming fiscal year. So it will be unrealistic to expect anything magical from it or a bed of roses. So it's supposed to be just a step in the right direction. So I'm actually very hopeful, but understanding the, COVID-19 situation, I understand that safety nets need to be maintained and we kind of just need to navigate the crisis. So I'm hopeful, and I'm hopeful that a lot of young people are going to tune in and see how this budget is going to affect our lives in the future.
All right, fantastic. Well, I want to invite you guys to come back on next week again, and we can discuss it post-budget and see how you feel about the things that have been revealed in the budget. But I want to say thank you very much to both Michael E.D. Bing, the author, national scholar, and graduate of the Peace and Conflict Studies, and currently a postgraduate student at University of the West Indies, as well as Rukaya Scott, the president of the UWI Economic Society. Thank you both very much for joining us this morning, and we look forward to having you back on soon to discuss post-budget, what took place, what's been revealed.